Well, Dr. Kohli, it's good to have you with us today.
Good to see you.
Yeah, well, there is a new data showing people with dogs may be leading a healthier lifestyle. I want your take on that.
Yeah, this is fascinating. So, we talk about getting exercise regularly, and the guidelines say it should be 150 minutes a week, so 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If you have a dog, you're 4 times as likely to hit that guideline recommended exercise target. And they've looked at people who didn't have dogs and then got dogs and saw that they became significantly more active. And this was even older adults and children alike.
I could totally see how that could happen. What are some of the physical benefits of owning a dog? And you just touched on some of that.
Yep, so we're definitely more fit because we have to take the dog out every day, right? It's a responsibility, so it gets us out of the house for sure. But what we've also seen is that if you have a dog, you actually have a lower blood pressure. Wow. So that exercise or physical activity probably releases some of those chemicals that help our blood pressure to be lower. But it doesn't stop there, Claudia. You can actually have a lower risk of dying. So 23% lower risk of dying associated with being a pet owner. So really lots and lots of physical benefits of having a pet.
That is significant information right there. Now, it can also benefit mental health. Is that true?
Very much so. So if we think about anxiety, depression, all of those types of emotions, it can really help with those. We know that service animals can be tremendously helpful with PTSD and trauma and those other types of experiences that people may have had. But what's really interesting, it's not just the mental health benefits, it helps our social health as well. So it makes us feel less lonely. It makes us feel less, by ourselves. It makes us more connected with others. So we tend to connect with other people, dog owners, go to dog parks, meet other people.
True.
So it keeps us a lot more social. And for those of us that are older, it helps get us out of the house, gives us a routine, a sense of purpose, responsibility. So really having an animal is beneficial on so many levels.
It really is. And just hearing you talk, you really are bringing up so many good points. Now, are there other intangibles as well?
It's funny, they've looked at the science of petting an animal, and you actually release endorphins when you pet an animal because that touch, and it doesn't have to be human touch, even the animal touch can really trigger.
Be an animal. Okay.
Yes, that very healthy response. And then we think about animals as part of our family almost. So a lot of the hormones that we release when we're bonding with a child, for example, oxytocin and some of the other love hormones are also released when we're bonding with an animal. But if you're thinking about getting a pet, you want to make sure you weigh the positives and the benefit and the negatives.
Definitely. Now, if we are thinking about getting a pet, what are those the benefits and the positives, I guess, and some downsides to it?
Yeah, so we talked about the positives, the physical, the emotional, the social, all of those positives, tremendous. But you want to make sure you keep in mind animals are a responsibility. They're a cost, especially if you're living on a fixed income. You want to think about vet bills and such because they can really add up, and they can be restrictive because I have plenty of friends who have animals and they want to go away on vacation, they have to take care of the animal. So a tremendous addition to our family and to our lives, to our physical and mental health. But if you're thinking about getting an animal, just weigh all of those before you make that big decision.
Make sure you're ready to be a good little parent to that pet. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much for being with us today. Okay, everyone. And of course, make sure to email us your questions for Dr. Kohli. Just send your message to MyCOCO at 9news.com and put Kohli in that subject line.